Good morning, student. So, in this lecture, we understand about the next static var compensator system, which is called as thyristor switch capacitor, thyristor control reactor. In short, we can say that TSC, TCR. So, this is a combination of thyristor switch capacitor and thyristor control reactor. So, that is a majority of the cases we use this type of FACS devices as a SVC. So, we already discussed in the last lecture that the fixed capacitor thyristor control reactor, mechanically switch capacitor thyristor control reactor. So you can see that this is a mechanical switch capacitor thyristor control reactor, and previous lecture we see the fixed capacitor thyristor control reactor. So what is the difference here in this thyristor switch capacitor and fixed capacitor case? So you can see that here in the fixed capacitor thyristor control reactor, our capacitor is permanently connected with the line, but here in the thyristor switch capacitor case, our capacitor is connected with the system through the thyristor switch. So same like a thyristor control reactor, you can see that this is a thyristor control reactor. Same way our capacitor is also connected with the anti-parallel pair of the thyristor pair. So when these thyristors are on, at that time only this capacitor come into the picture. So when this thyristor off, the capacitor is not connected with the system. But here it is called as a thyristor switch capacitor, not called as a thyristor control reactor. The reason is that the capacitor is not switched at any firing angle because of the transient free operation. If you switch the capacitor at any voltage or any firing angle, then they create the high switching transient, that is called the capacitor switching transient. So to avoid this type of capacitive switching transient, we always turn on this capacitor or connect this capacitor at full conduction of this thyristor. So when this thyristor is on, so that thyristor is on for the full complete cycle, and they connect the capacitor into the system for that number of complete full cycle. And when we require to off this capacitor, remove all the gate pulse of this thyristor, so that your capacitor switching out from the system. So that's why this is called as the thyristor switch capacitor. So that is working on the principle of integral cycle control, as we already discussed in the TSC. So this is a thyristor switch capacitor. This is a difference between fixed capacitor and thyristor switch capacitor. So you understand that what is the reason behind why we not provide a thyristor controlled capacitor, just to avoid the transient free operation of the capacitor. But you can control the but you can control the reactor by using the thyristor, because reactor or inductor they not create any transient operation when it is switched for any firing angle. That's why we provide the thyristor control reactor. Yeah. So this is the difference between thyristor switch capacitor and thyristor control reactor. In thyristor control reactor, you can control the reactance by changing the firing angle of the thyristor, but you cannot change the capacity amount of this capacitor by changing the firing angle. Once you turn on this switch, fixed amount of capacitive reactive power injected into the system. When it is off, the injection of the reactive power becomes zero. So that is just switch, that is just act like a switch. So when it is on, they provide the reactive power. When it is off, they remove the reactive power. So here, why we use the thyristor switch capacitor? Why not fixed capacitor, and why not mechanical switch capacitor? So as we already discussed, in the mechanical switch capacitor type thyristor control reactor, its speed is very low or response time is very low. It means that takes more time to provide the compensation. So that creates the transient stability problem that we already discussed in the last lecture. The speed of switching is lower, speed of switching is however longer, and this may affect the transient stability. So the switching speed of this mechanical switch capacitor thyristor control reactor is very small, or we can say that switching speed is very low, so that it takes more time for the compensation, and because of that creates the transient stability related problems. So this method is suitable only for the steady load condition. It means when the load variation is very small in a predictable range, so at that time you can use the mechanical switch capacitor thyristor control reactor. And what is the problem with the fixed capacitor thyristor control reactor? So problem with the fixed capacitor is that provide the fixed amount of the capacitive reactive power, because that is permanently connected with the system. So if you require the reactive power demand or not require the reactive power demand, in both the cases this fixed capacitor injects the reactive power demand, and because of that the losses are increasing. So to reduce the losses we require this switchable capacitor. So you can use the mechanical switch capacitor, but again the mechanical switch capacitor has sluggish response. For the compensation, because of that we not use for the dynamic large load change condition. So for that we have required the TSC, thyristor switch capacitor. So thyristor switch capacitor, that is controlled by the thyristor. So the combination of TSC and TCR, that is a majority of the cases which we use, provide the optimum solution for the dynamic compensation of the power system for the voltage control. So with this combination, the continuous variable reactive power is obtained throughout the complete control range, as well as the full control of both the inductive as well as capacitive part of the compensation. So that provides the leading to lagging reactive power compensation in a control manner. That is also provided by the fixed capacitor thyristor control reactor FCTCR. But the problem is that fixed capacitor that injects the fixed amount of the reactive power to the system. So sometimes when you not require the reactive power demand, at that cases also they inject the reactive power, and because of that the losses are increasing. So to avoid these losses, to reduce these losses, we use the thyristor switch capacitor. It means capacitor is switched by using the thyristor. So whenever you not require the reactive power, at that time you can turn off this capacitor by using the thyristor, so that the losses happens because of the excess amount of the reactive power that can be decreases. So this is a very advantageous features, and that permitting the optimum performance during the large disturbance in the power system. So this is a major requirement in the power system when the large disturbance happens or when the large variation of the load happens. At that time you can use this type of arrangement, TSC, TCR. Otherwise you can use this mechanical switch capacitor thyristor control reactor or FCTCR, fixed capacitor thyristor control reactor. But when your system is very sensitive or dynamic condition is very fast, when load variation is very fast or large disturbance happens in the power system, during that condition you can go for this type of the SVC or FACS device. Now you can see that the diagram of the TSC TCR. Here in this diagram there is a one TCR. This is a TCR. Reactor is controlled by the thyristor pair, and there are three TSC. So this first TSC, that is with pair switch 1, second TSC pair with switch 2, that is third TSC with pair of thyristor with switch 3. So here you can see that the reactive power demand was a reactive power output characteristics for the TSC TCR. So here you can see that there are three TSC. It means that this configuration you can use when the reactive power injection is required. So suppose I take the example that suppose each TSC branch has a capacity to provide the maximum 10 MVA reactive power. So the total reactive power, capacitive reactive power capacity becomes 10 plus 10 plus 10. So 30 MVA reactive power can be provided by all these three capacitors when it is connected to the system. When all these three valves of the switches of the thyristor are on, so all the three capacitors that provides the 30 MVA maximum reactive power, capacitive reactive power. And suppose that this thyristor control reactor has maximum capacity to absorb the reactive power, that has a 10 MVA reactive power. So suppose my requirement is 25 MVAR injection of the reactive power. It means my requirement is 25 MVA leading reactive power. It means capacitive reactive power. So the capacity of this each capacitor is 10 MVA. So if you connect these two capacitor only, then this capacity becomes, then they provide the only 20 MVA reactive power. Clear? But suppose if you turn on this all these three capacitor, then they provide the total 30 MVAR reactive power. 30 MVAR reactive power. But our requirement is what? Only 25 MVAR leading reactive power, capacitive reactive power. So this is the excess of 5 MVA leading reactive power. So that excess of 5 MVA leading reactive power that is absorbed by this thyristor control reactor. Thyristor control reactor TCR has the maximum capacity to absorb is 10 MVA. So to provide the firing angle delay to this thyristor in such a way that they absorb the excess 5 MVA leading reactive power of this 3 capacitor. So at the bus you can inject the total 25 MVA leading reactive power or capacity reactive power. So by this way they provide the precise control of compensation. But that is not happening. That is also controlled by this thyristor control reactor in this case. So same condition, if you use the FCTCR, you require the 25 MVA leading reactive power. So in that case, also the FCTCR provides the same type of compensation. So suppose that this capacitor, this fixed capacitor has the 30 MVA reactive power and our requirement is 25 MVA leading reactive power. So the excess 5 MVA leading reactive power that is absorbed by this thyristor control reactor. So net amount of reactive power injection becomes 25 MVA reactive power. But the problem is when you not require any compensation, at that time also this fixed capacitor injects the 30 MVA reactive power into the system. So for that this TCR requires to absorb that excess 30 MVA reactive power. So that considered as a loss of the reactive power. So that is considered as a loss of the power. So to avoid this loss in the system, you prefer to use the thyristor switch capacitor and thyristor control reactor. So suppose if you use here the thyristor switch capacitor by mechanically switch or by the thyristor switch. So if your requirement of the reactive power demand is 0, so in that case you can turn off this capacitor from the system by using mechanical switch or by using the thyristor. So there is no need of the thyristor control reactor to absorb the excess amount of the reactive power. So that's why the thyristor switch capacitor is very important for the dynamic compensation of the power system or reduces the losses in the system. So that's why generally we use the thyristor switch capacitor by using the thyristor or mechanical switch capacitor using mechanical switch capacitor with thyristor control reactor or thyristor switch capacitor, thyristor control reactor for the optimum solution of the power system for the dynamic compensation of the power system. So here in this example, we understand that there are 3 capacitor bank or 3 thyristor switch capacitor are used. So based on the requirement of the reactive power demand, you can turn on any number of thyristor switch capacitor and based on that you provide the compensation. So suppose that your requirement here now is become 50 MVAR leading reactive power and your total capacity is total capacitive reactive power capacity is 30 MVAR. So you need to only turn on only 2 capacitor bank here because this 2 capacitor bank injects the 20 MVAR reactive power. So excess 5 MVAR reactive power that is absorbed by this thyristor control reactor. So this is the advantage of using the number of capacitor bank in parallel as compared to using a single large unit of fixed capacitor. If you using single large capacitor of 30 MVAR and with switchable capacity using the thyristor, so you can connect 30 MVAR reactive power or disconnect the 30 MVAR reactive power. But if you provided the small unit of 10 MVAR reactive power, then this is advantageous for the dynamic control of this reactive power as well as the reduce the losses of the system. So you can see that here the TSC TCR's reactive power demand was a reactive power output characteristics. So here this line that is a Q output characteristics. It means this is amount of reactive power requirement at the bus to maintain the voltage level and these are the reactive power absorption by the thyristor control reactor. This is a characteristic of TCR and this is the characteristics of fixed capacitor, thyristor switch capacitor. So here we understand these characteristics. So whenever you not require any amount of compensation, leading or lagging reactive power, so in that case you turn off the switch, or you can say that remove all the gate pulses of these three switches. So all these three capacitors are disconnected from the system, so that not inject any amount of the reactive power. Same way you turn off this thyristor control reactor by putting the alpha, by providing the alpha 90 degree to each thyristor, so that your TCR also act as a off switch. So there is no compensation. So at this case you get this point in the system. But when you require the leading reactive power, so first you turn on this first capacitor by turning on the switch of this anti-parallel thyristor. So fully on of this switch for full cycle of the supply. This capacitor provides the 10 MVA reactive power, fixed 10 MVA reactive power. So you can see that this characteristic is shifted from this zero origin point to this level, and this value is nothing but a 10 MVA reactive power provided by this capacitor 1, or that conduct the IC1 current from this capacitor. Now if you require the continuous variation of the reactive power from 0 to this level, so for that case you must operate the thyristor control reactor. So initially all the switches are off, so there is zero reactive power, so there is a origin point 0 here in this characteristics. But when you turn on this capacitor, then they provide the fixed amount of the reactive power, that is 10 MVA reactive power, this much, clear. But I require the reactive power in a continuous manner from 0 to this level. So for that I need to operate this thyristor control reactor. So initially I operate the thyristor control reactor at alpha 0. Alpha 0 that provide the full conduction, so you get the maximum current IL. So in that case they provide the maximum amount of the reactive power, lagging reactive power. Lagging reactive power means that absorb the reactive power. So initially you can see that here this point is the alpha 0 for the thyristor pair. It means that they absorb the maximum amount of the reactive power. Suppose that this thyristor control reactor has a capacity to absorb maximum reactive power is 10 MVAR, clear. So when you connect this capacitor into the system of 10 MVAR leading reactive power, and you turn on this TCR at alpha 0, so both generates the 10 MVAR reactive power, but this fixed capacitor generate the 10 MVAR leading reactive power, and this thyristor control reactor generate the 10 MVAR lagging reactive power. So the summation of both this reactive power that becomes 0. So at that point you get this origin, and after that if you decrease the alpha, you increase the alpha of this thyristor pair from 0 to 90 degree, what will happen? The current IL flowing into this reactor, that is decreasing, because the current flowing into this reactor, that is the function of alpha. So as you increase the alpha from 0 to 90 degree, the current flowing into this thyristor control reactor, that is decreasing. So you can see that the characteristic of this thyristor control reactor reactive power absorption capacity, that is decreasing. You can see here in this characteristic, as you increase the alpha, this QL, that is decreasing. And at alpha 90 degree, when this TCR act as an off switch, so overall reactive power absorption, overall reactive power at this bus, that becomes the reactive power injected by this fixed capacitor, and that is equal to 10 MVA leading reactive power. So for the continuous control of the reactive power from origin to this level, from origin to 10 MVA leading reactive power, you need to operate this thyristor control reactor and vary the firing angle from 0 to 90 degree, so you can get the continuous variation from origin to this 10 MVA reactive power. Again, if you require the reactive power between 10 to 20 MVAR leading reactive power, so now you need to connect this second thyristor switch capacitor bank, and also you need to operate this thyristor control reactor, because you require the continuous control. you require the reactive power between 10 to 20 MVAr leading reactive power. So if this capacitor bank is connected and this is already connected, so both the capacitor bank or both the thyristor switch capacitor are connected, so both provide the 20 MVAr reactive power, but your requirement is between 10 to 20 MVAr. So for require the continuous variation from this 10 MVAr to 20 MVAr reactive power, you need to operate this thyristor control reactor. So first you set this thyristor control reactor to the alpha 0. So you can see that from this point, your thyristor control reactor is set to the alpha 0. It means that they provide the 10 MVAr lagging reactive power. So it means that they So it means that 20 MVAr leading reactive power minus 10 MVAr lagging reactive power. So total reactive power injection into the system is 10 MVAr. So you can see that at this point, the total reactive power is 10 MVAr at this point. So alpha 0 TCR absorb the 10 MVAr reactive power, but as you increase the alpha from 0 to 90 degree, so you can see that from this point, as you increase the alpha from 0 to 90 degree, your reactive power absorption capacity of the thyristor control reactor is decreasing, and you can see that the characteristic Q also increasing in the downward direction. It means that the total reactive power capacity is increasing. So now as you can see that both the capacitor are connected into the system. So both the total capacity is 20 MVAr reactive power, 10 plus 10, but our requirement is what? 10 to 20 MVAr reactive power. So now you turn on this thyristor control reactor with alpha 0. So that absorb the 10 MVAr reactive power, that to inject the 20 MVAr reactive power. So net reactive power injection is 10 MVAr. So at this point, you can see that here your TCR is set from alpha 90 to alpha 0 again to maintain the 10 MVAr leading reactive power into the system. After that, you can see that your TCR that increase the firing angle from 0 to 90 degree, and you can see that this total reactive power Q injection that is increasing from 10 MVAr to 20 MVAr reactive power. So by this way, you can get the continuous change from 10 to 20 MVAr reactive power. And at alpha 90 degree, here you can see that your TCR acts as an off switch, so that only inject the 20 MVAr reactive power, and that injects that absorb the 0 reactive power. So total injection becomes 20 MVAr leading reactive power at this point. Again, if you require the more reactive power, more capacitive reactive power between 20 to 30 leading reactive power, so in that case again you turn on this third branch of the capacitor. So that total 3 branches that provide the 30 MVAr reactive power, but our requirement is between 20 to 30. So again shift the firing angle of this TCR from 90 to 0. So at alpha 0 degree, again this TCR that absorb the 10 MVAr reactive power, so 30 minus 10, so that gives a 20 MVAr at this point. After that, you again increase the firing angle from 0 to 90 degree, so that continuously increasing the reactive power from 20 to 30 MVAr reactive power. So you can see that how the reactive power demand is increasing in a step-like manner from 0 to 10, 10 to 20, and 20 to 30. So that is only possible in case if you provide the switchable capacitor. It may be a mechanical switch or it may be a thyristor switch capacitor. So to provide the continuous control range in a dynamic condition, this type of flex device is very useful and provide the optimum performance to the power system. So this is the advantage of using the TSC TCR. Now, this is the functional control scheme of the thyristor switch capacitor thyristor control reactor. So here in this functional control scheme, our basic function is that first function is that to determine the number of thyristor switch capacitor branch that is required to switch in to get the approximate amount of the capacitive reactive power, and then compute the amplitude of the inductive current that is needed to cancel the surplus capacity power. So as we already take the example that in this case, suppose our requirement is 25 MVAR reactive power. This 3 capacitor inject the 30 MVAR reactive power. So excess 5 MVAR leading reactive power that is absorbed by this thyristor control reactor. Clear? So for that, how to compute the amplitude of this inductive current which is needed to cancel this surplus capacitive current, and how to calculate the how much amount of this thyristor switch capacitor is required for the required capacity output current. So that is calculated by the functional control scheme of the TSC TCR. And second function is to control the switching of this thyristor switch capacitor in a transient free manner so that not creates any transient stability problem into the power system. And third major function of the functional control scheme is that vary the inductive current or this thyristor control reactor current by firing angle delay control of the thyristor in such a manner that absorb the exact amount of the excess reactive power from the system. So first function is to calculate the required capacitor. Required capacitor means how much amount of the TSC branch is required. Here in this example only 3 branches is given, but based on the requirement of the reactive power you need the number of parallel capacitor branch. So first you need to calculate the number of parallel branch to connect into the system, so that will provide the required amount of the reactive power to the system. Clear? So how this control system know that how much amount of the capacitor connect or disconnect to the system, and how much amount of the IL is required to absorb the excess amount of the reactive power from the system. So for that this control system calculate the number of TSC, then they control the TSC for the transient free operation, and third one they provide the firing angle delay control to the TCR in such a manner that they absorb the excess amount of the reactive power from the system. So let's understand one by one here. So first function is that how to determine the number of TSC. How much number of TSC is required in the system. So how that calculate it. So first here you can see that is the IQ reference. So IQ reference is the amount of current is required for the compensation of the system. So that is a IQ reference. So IQ reference is the total amount of the current is required at the system. It means at this point IQ reference is this actual current is required to maintain the voltage at the load bus near to the rated value. Now this total current IQ reference current that is divided with the each capacitor branch current. You can see that this TSC has capacity to flow the current IC1, and total reactive power capacity reactive power current requirement is IQ reference. So this IQ reference is divided with the each TSC branch current, so that calculate the approximate integer number, and nearer integer number that gives the total number of TSC branches required. Suppose that IQ reference is, suppose it is 10 ampere reference current, and each TSC branch that provide the 3 ampere current, 3 ampere capacity current. So this 10 ampere current IQ reference divide with the 3 ampere current of each TSC branch. So total current becomes 3.33 ampere. So near integer what? Nearest highest integer is what? 4. So you require the 4 number of TSC branches to provide the proper compensation of the system. So by this way, this control system calculate the number of TSC branches required to connect with the system. Clear? Here we are assume that total n number of TSC branch are connected with the system. So with the 10 ampere current requirement, you need to connect the 4 TSC branch into the system. So now the question is that how much firing angle, what is the firing angle is required for this thyristor control reactor to absorb the excess amount of the reactive power, because here our capacity, our requirement is 10 ampere current. You connect the 4 TSC branch, and each TSC branch that provide the capacitive current of 3 ampere. So now 4 into 3, so total becomes 12 ampere capacitive current, but our requirement is only 10 ampere current. So excess 2 ampere current that must be absorbed by this thyristor control reactor. So this 12 ampere minus actual requirement of the current. So this 2 ampere current is provided to the control system, and based on the control system that generate the firing angle delay for the TCR in such a way that absorb this 2 ampere reactive power from the system, so that maintains the 10 ampere reactive power at the load bus to maintain the voltage near to the 1 per unit. So by this way, this control system calculate the actual number of thyristor switch capacitor required to connect with the system, and based on that, the excess amount of the reactive power of the capacitor, the control system generate the firing angle delay control signal to absorb the excess amount of the reactive power from the system. So this is all about the functional control scheme of the TSC TCR. So again repeated, IQ reference, that is the actual amount of the reactive current is required to maintain the voltage. So based on that, each TSC branch current, calculate the total amount of TSC required to connect, and after that, based on that excess reactive power capacity, TCR control scheme generate the firing angle delay to absorb the excess reactive power from the system. Now this is all about how to provide the transient free operation when you control the switching of the thyristor switch capacitor branch. So as we know that the thyristor switch capacitor, the capacitor cannot be switched at any firing angle delay because of the transient free operation. If you switch on at any firing angle delay, then they create the high switching transient, that is called as a capacitor switching transient, and that can damage the thyristor, and that also affect the transient stability of the power system. So because of that, the thyristor cannot be fired at any firing angle delay. So how to get the transient free operation when you switch on this thyristor switch capacitor? So TSC thyristor switch capacitor is on if the on request is 1 and V subscript SW is 1. So this voltage is nothing but a voltage across the switch. So this voltage across the switch, when it's 0, in that condition you turn on this thyristor to get the transient free operation. So when this 1 is happens, so when the capacitor voltage as well as system voltage both are same, so at that condition voltage across the switch becomes 0. So at that time you can turn on the thyristor switch capacitor. Or when the on request is comes, PT is 1. PT is 1 means when small v is equal to capital V. Small v is the instantaneous voltage at the load bus, and V is the RMS value of the voltage. When both are same, at that time they generate the synchronizing pulse. PT is equal to 1. So here that is applied to the AND logic operator. On request 1, so that again applied to the AND logic operator, and V pole is also applied to here AND logic operator. So V pole is 1 when the sign of V means the polarity of this voltage plus or negative is equal to sign of Vc. It means polarity of the voltage across this capacitor, when both are same with polarity, Suppose this voltage V is minus 500 kV, and same way the voltage across the capacitor is also minus 500 kV. This is just the example. So at this situation, V pole generate the signal. V pole is equal to 1. So when all these three signals are 1, on request is 1, PT is 1, V pole is 1. So output is also 1. Then output is applied to the OR logic operator. Then this second AND logical operator, first input is on request. When it is 1, on is 1. And when voltage across the switch is 0, at that time they generate the 1 signal. So when both the signal is applied, at that time output becomes 1. So both the AND logical operator, when output is 1 and applied to the OR logical operator, so based on that they generate the firing angle pulse for this switch, and then they turn on this switch and connect this capacitor into the system. So at that time they get the transient free. So here in this figure you can see that we see the loss was the reactive power output characteristic of thyristor switch capacitor, thyristor control reactor. So here same arrangement, 3 TCS, 3 thyristor switch capacitor and 1 thyristor control reactor. So each thyristor switch capacitor provide the fixed losses. So you can see that when all these 3 thyristor switch capacitor are off and 1 TCR is also off, so that provide the negligible amount of the losses. But as you connect the 1 TSC branch, so that increase the losses to the fixed amount. So you can see that this first capacitor C1, when it is connected, that increase the losses to this fixed level. And when you operate the TCR, thyristor control reactor, to absorb the surplus amount of the capacitive reactive power, so at that time that also increase the losses from 0 to the maximum value, and they also decrease the losses from maximum to the 0 value. Clear? Same way as you connect the second capacitor bank or second TSC, then they also increase the losses to the fixed amount up to the C2 level. And same way by operating the TCR to absorb the excess amount of the reactive power, that also increase the losses from minimum to the maximum, or that reduce the losses from maximum to this 0 or fixed level. Same way again you connect the third capacitor or third TSC branch, so that increase the losses to the fixed amount up to this level, and by operating the TCR that decrease the losses, or they vary the losses from maximum to this 0 level. So just by connecting only these 3 capacitor, that increase the losses up to this level, and by using the TCR, thyristor control reactor, because we required to operate the TCR to absorb the excess amount of the reactive power injection by this 3 capacitor, so that TCR also increase the losses from this level to this level. So maximum losses happen in this case is up to this level, and minimum loss happens up to this level when all these 3 capacitors are connected with the system and your TCR is operated with the system. So this is all about the losses versus reactive power output characteristic of the TSC TCR. So as you can see that as the reactive power demand, capacitive reactive power demand increases, the loss is also increasing. Same way, as the inductive reactive power demand is increases, loss is also increases. Now this is the operating VI characteristic of the TSC TCR. So this is a VI characteristic when only 2 TSC or 2 thyristor switch capacitors and 1 TCR are provided. So 1 TCR that provide the maximum admittance up to this level, and that maintain the voltage maximum up to this level, VLMX, voltage limit for the TCR, and VCmax, that is the voltage limit for TSC. So capacitor that can increase the voltage maximum up to this level. Here there are 2 capacitor or 2 TSC branch, so there are 2 admittances. So one capacitor bank connected, so that provide this admittance BC, admittance of 1 TSC, and when both the capacitors are connected with the system, so that provide the maximum admittance, maximum capacitive admittance BC max is equal to 2 times admittance of the 1 TSC. So you can see that as you provide the more and more number of TSC, the control range is also increases in the capacitive side. So the provide the wide control range from leading to lagging reactive power. So this is a VI characteristic of the TSC TCR for two thyristor switch capacitor bank with one thyristor control reactor. So I hope you understand the working of this TSC TCR and how it is different from the fixed capacitor TCR and mechanical switch capacitor TCR. So in summary, we can say that the TSC TCR that provide the dynamical control of the reactive power from fully leading to lagging reactive power in a precise manner. But for that we require the more and more capacitor bank or more and more TSC. So again the cost of the TSC is increases. But if cost is not a criteria for the dynamic control range of the power system or to maintain the voltage at the load bus, then you can go for the TSC TCR for the precise control of the voltage or precise compensation of the reactive power. So next lecture we understand the simulation of the SVC. So in this simulation, again the same 3 TSC connected and 1 TCR is connected, and we understand that how they provide the dynamic compensation based on the requirement at the load bus. So here I complete this lecture. The next lecture we understand this simulation of this SVC.